Welcome. Great to have you back, and it's nice to be here. I've been away the last week or so, and so my vlog this week is a good day or two late. Usually I try to post on a Friday. I've been experimenting with different times, and going forward I'm going to try and post each Friday afternoon. So this week I'm just going to use a little bit of footage that I recorded 2 or 3 weeks ago. And this was really about searching for new locations to photograph, particularly those near at home in my kind of proverbial backyard. You see, the thing is, photographs don't just happen. I mean, occasionally they do. Occasionally you're walking past something and you see something that will make a decent composition, you make a quick grab shot and you're done. Most photography, for me at least, isn't like that. It requires planning, it requires scouting out locations, sometimes thinking months in advance of where I want to be when. And that's particularly true of things like astrophotography, for example, where there are so many variables to take into account. So in this episode, I take you out into my backyard, into the New Forest in Hampshire in the UK. Just take a look at a little area that I haven't been to before, despite living here for over 30 years now. There are still new places within a short driving distance for me to explore. So I hope that you'll enjoy this week's vlog, following me out into the New Forest in my backyard to see if I can find something new to shoot. Right, so I am hunting for, or scouting for locations, and I really want to find somewhere that I can come and take an image of the Milky Way looking towards the southwest, with some interesting foreground. And I have been struggling to find that, and I'm just wondering whether a little stand of trees or a lone tree in the forest would be the way to go. I'm going to turn around, and that means the wind is going to hit the mic, so apologies in advance for the noise, and I'm probably going to have to stop talking for a minute. Oh wow, something quite catastrophic happened here. We've got some big oak trees here. 1, 2, another couple through there, all in a line, that have just been blown down clearly in a gale. And another one over here, look. 5 large oak trees. Another one through there, 6, that have just been swept over. That must have been some gale. Wow. What a shame. I love oak trees. Okay, so this is something else I've been reflecting on, which is right in my backyard is the New Forest. And there's so much of it that I haven't explored. And it's about time I did. What I would really like to do is find some broadleaf woodland with nice wide open spaces and some character in the trees. Oh, we've got another downed oak there, look. I'm just going to walk through here, because through the other side of this little stand of trees there are some lone trees out there, or small little patches, and I'm still on the hunt the Milky Way foreground. So here we are, and gorgeous as it is, most of the trees here that you can see are not native to these shores, and so the people who look after this forest are actually gradually thinning them out and taking them down to leave, if I swing round you can see, to leave these oaks, and which is great, but one of the problems with that, I think, is what we're seeing just past where we've just walked, which is that as you thin out the cover provided by some of these pine trees, it leaves the oaks far more exposed, and they've probably not grown up with as strong root systems as they might have done had they not been protected that way in the first place, and maybe that's why they're blowing over. I am no tree expert, but that has a kind of logic to it. It's rather an attractive stand of trees out there. I'll zoom in a bit. And I do like the way that they are framed, or can be framed, by some of the trees out of which I'm looking. And I think something like that might make a really nice shot at the right time of day in the right light. And if I go a bit nearer, maybe with much more of the trees breaking the horizon, it might make a Milky Way shot. They'd need to break the horizon because it'd be too dark otherwise to see them. Now, in the distance over there, pretty much centre frame, that's a rather nice tree standing on its own. The one with a fairly flattened top. Yeah, pretty much centre of frame now, slightly reddish. I might go and take a look at that if I can get to it. I don't fancy going through all this heather. I'm going to have to go along the edge of the woodland and then cut across, I think. There's a nice symmetry going on here. I just feel this has some potential, and I'm going to have to come back sometime in the right light, and maybe on a really clear night before we get too late in the Milky Way season. Got a fairly good view to the horizon here. There's something I like about the shape of this tree, the way it splits into three there. You probably only just see two from this angle, but then these other two outlying trees there at a similar height. So I'm going to check through PhotoPills to see what this might look like at about 1:30 in the morning on a clear night. Well, sadly I don't think we have the elevation here to do the Milky Way shot. It's a nice enough scene, but it might make a nice either dawn or sunset. It is south facing, so rather than east or west, but with the right conditions, with a sunset afterglow, if the cloud were right, or even dawn, the sky might colour up and it might look quite nice. It's a nice enough composition. It's whether or not it's facing the right way for the right conditions. So thank you very much for joining me, and I hope you've enjoyed this little exploration of the New Forest, or at least a small part of it. I've been away in Cornwall this last week or so, and also doing a little bit of building work for my daughter in their new house. As soon as the conditions are right, I shall be out again with my camera and my gear to see what I can make of the locations that I've looked at in this vlog. And that'll be some nighttime photography, possibly some sunrise or sunset shoots as well. So join me in the coming 2 or 3 weeks as I get my gear out once again and go hunting around my backyard. Thanks for watching. See you again soon.